Hey everyone, welcome back. So I promised you last time that the next time we'd talk about the Jimmy Key situation, and we indeed are going to do that. First I want to run through some pickups, mostly in the form of trades that I've been doing with a couple other folks. The online community of baseball card collectors really has been pretty awesome. I did not expect to meet so many other people willing to do through the mail trades. A lot of trust there, and I definitely really appreciate that. It's been fun getting to know some of you guys, and definitely been fun trading for some cool cards. Let's start with one that's actually an eBay pickup. 1957 is a pretty ripe year for Hall of Fame rookie cards. There's a couple of pretty expensive ones, Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson in particular. I currently have Whitey Herzog, and just on the casual lookout for deals on the others that, maybe just in filler grade for now, until I get a little more serious about, getting a nice Brooks Robinson and Frank Robinson. Definitely down on my priority list a little bit, but I saw this on eBay for $1.50, and I couldn't not buy it. Like, even though it's got the chewed off corner here, I'm more than happy to have that for a filler for now, for $1.50. Next up, did a little bit of through the mail trading, primarily to get my hands on this 84 Fleer Don Mattingly. I currently have his Topps rookie card. I didn't have the Fleer or the Don Russ, and it'd be pretty cool to get all three of his. So here's the Fleer. I just need the Don Russ now. This is pretty nice. It does have some really minuscule surface flaws, like there's no way you're going to see it on camera. If you see funny stuff reflecting here, that's the team bag. It's not the card. But yeah, it's nice. I like it. Along with that, I got some cool bonus cards, some Canseco stuff that I either hadn't seen before or had forgotten about. I have the 87 Topps Mini League Leaders Canseco, but this is the 88, and I had completely forgotten about that set. So that's a neat little thing. And these Fleer Superstars set, I don't believe I had seen anything from this set before, and it's it's 89. It's right up my alley. I'm surprised I never came across those before. And likewise, this Score PNG from 92. Never seen that either. Score Superstar set from, what is this, 89? I also don't remember those. Surely these weren't inserts in the 89 Score base set packs, because I feel like I definitely would have seen them. I bought a lot of those when I was growing up. Nevertheless, there that is. Pretty cool. And this one really baffled me just because it's so busy on the front. It took me a while to decipher what it even was. Then I noticed up in the corner here, if you turn it in the light, you can see the Fleer 95 logo. The card's busy enough that you can't even see the gold foil in most of it. So this is when he was playing for the Texas Rangers. And this would have been just after I got out of collecting as a teenager. So I never saw these cards. I guess that's the base card. They're kind of cool looking, definitely pretty busy. Before I talk about the next series of trades that I did, I'll just mention that I'm not really sure what the etiquette is for mentioning, who was involved with trades when we're talking about this stuff online. So I'm just going to go ahead and not mention names. You guys know who you are, and definitely thank you. Feel free to comment below if you don't mind people knowing your name, but the next series of trades that I did resulted in this. I'll go through these in sort of chronological order as much as possible, I guess. And these aren't all the cards, but these are sort of the highlights for me. I started out with some food cards, and the Swell, I think these are, chewing gum. I feel like I've maybe seen a football set very similar to this before. Never encountered these yellow baseball cards, though. Julio Cruz, Rico Petrocelli, Davey Johnson, Marv Thornberry, Mudcat Grant. And these are some, I believe they're Hostess. Yeah, 93 Hostess. It's kind of a neat design. I like these borders. Got Carlos Baerga, Cecil Fielder, Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, that's a cool one. Gary Sheffield, Darryl Strawberry, and Terry Pendleton. Also, what is this, 62, 63? Oh, this is 61. Must be Post. Although, yeah, I think, so Post are the ones with the blank backs, right? I think Jell-O had something printed on the back. So, 61 Post cereal, Pete Burnside. Pretty cool. I always loved those old Post and Jell-O cards from the early 60s. Really want to get my hands on the 62 Post Joe Torre. Food cards from rookie years are especially cool to me. We've got something that I had never seen these before either. Kraft Singles. Called the Kraft Singles Superstar set, I guess, from 93. And there's some sort of like pop-up or pop-out card. This one has never been popped up or out, however these work. Very cool, though. I like that a lot. And next up, in addition to my collection of severely abused Ernie Banks cards, and I wasn't kidding when I said the worse the better. This is a 57 Ernie Banks that has had all of the borders cut off. And I love that. Fantastic right there. We also have a 1949 Bowman Eddie Stanky. So you recall our discussion from last time. This is his rookie card. And yeah, it's certainly got some surface issues on the front here. But that's alright, I'm happy with that for now. I didn't realize how small these 49 Bowman cards actually are. I was very surprised. Next up, we've got a card, I wouldn't say really filler grade, but it's a filler for me for now. I would like to get a much nicer example of this card at some point, because I really like Thurman Munson. And yeah, this is not his rookie card, but this is one of the coolest cards made in the 70s for sure, and like maybe period. It's got the tough black borders. It's just a great design from the 71 set. It's a gold cup card, and it's got this just epic landscape photo of someone sliding into Munson. That is so cool. And this one's presentable. You know, it's a couple creases and dinged corners and stuff, but absolutely love this card, and it's tough to find deals on this card, especially around here. So being able to snag that in a trade was definitely good. And lastly, we've got a 52 Redman Tobacco early win. I have eyed a lot of these 52 Redman cards before. They're all hand cut from panels. And I really like them. This is the first one in my collection. So, let's talk about Jimmy Key. So, growing up, my brother and I had some Jimmy Key cards that were autographed, and I had this really cool autographed baseball. That was just the coolest thing. I know Jimmy Key wasn't a megastar or anything, but he was a great pitcher, and he had some really good seasons, including a World Series. But the coolest thing was that we had a family connection with him. So as I recall, this is how it went. My grandmother worked in the lunchroom at a school. I can't for the life of me remember whether it was a high school or an elementary school. Nevertheless, one of her coworkers was Jimmy Key's aunt. So as I started getting into baseball cards, and my brother too, to a lesser extent anyways, started getting into cards, my grandmother talked to her coworker and hooked us up with some autographed cards, and I still have all of the Jimmy Key autographed stuff from when I was a kid, and even have the cards that my brother was given as a kid as well. Let's take a look at them real quick here and try to go through them in somewhat chronological order. So this is Jimmy Key's 84 Topps Traded Extended Rookie Card. It is not autographed. I got this a few years after getting the signed cards, and I just always keep that with them as part of the Jimmy Key collection. The ball here was one of the first items that I received. It's personalized, which is pretty cool. It says, "Merry Christmas, Max, Jimmy Key." So clearly that was around Christmas time one year. Probably 88, 89, thereabouts. And there were a handful of cards that we got over the years that were given to my brother and myself. I recall some incident where my brother got into a couple of the cards that I had, and they got either badly damaged or maybe completely destroyed. Between that and my brother just never really getting into cards the same way I did, all of the remaining cards are now in my collection here. And we've got an 89 Don Russ signed in the same blue pen as the ball. I believe these were sent at the same time. Then a few later ones that are signed in black marker. The 90 Don Russ, 87 Don Russ, and 92 Fleer. I want to say there was an 88 Don Russ included here at some point, because I kind of remember when I was a kid, us having the whole run from 87 to 90 Don Russ. But this is what we've got now. And I like the story every bit as much as the cards, for sure. And this ball storage situation definitely needs to be addressed at some point. I know you can get commercially available display holders for stuff like this. But anybody who knows me, particularly from my other channel, knows that I'm not really all about store-bought, commercially available stuff. I do have some ideas to kind of bridge the content of both of my channels. I think it will lead to a few pretty interesting projects. And they're pretty much all centered around storage and display of stuff, at least for now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and maybe we'll talk about... What are we going to talk about next time? Maybe we could talk about some vintage and junk wax cards that don't fall into my Hall of Fame rookie collection. Some of which I believe I've probably shown you before, but I don't think I've shown the entire thing. And maybe we'll talk a little bit too about some more detail around the evolution of my collection, like where I started and where I am now, because the PC now, I mean, it's pretty small. Now, some of you guys out there have pretty big collections, but I've got, a couple of small boxes, and like anything that's not in those boxes is just extra stuff I have that I'm trying to sell or trade. And I've talked to a few other folks that have either been trying to go through a similar process or have been thinking about going through a similar process. So, perhaps that warrants some discussion here as well. Anyways, if you've got thoughts or opinions on what we should talk about next time, then definitely let me know in the comments. I'll see you later.